Hello, my name is Brenna Ferris, and I work in the library as the Library Assistant for Access Services. And today I'm going to be going over how to use different resources for research at the Franklin Library. So, some of the things that I'm going to discuss today are different search strategies, how to access and use FISC's databases, access to other collections, citation style guides, and annotations. So, obviously, one of the first things that you're going to want to do when you're assigned a research paper is you're going to want to start contemplating a topic. So, perhaps that you've read an article that talked about something that you found interesting that you want to know more about. Maybe you have some unanswered questions about a certain topic. And so, when you're researching potential topic ideas, it's important to include and search different keywords pertaining to your topic to try to come up with different source material. So the internet can be overwhelming, and navigating it can be even more overwhelming, especially when you're trying to research something very specific. So when we include different synonyms and search for keywords, it can help you locate sources that you never would have found using your general topic. So let's take a look at this example. So here we have a written topic or question that could be used, and it is, does social media have a negative effect on young women's body image? So we've written out this topic idea, and now what we're going to want to do is we're going to try to separate it into keywords. So the keywords that I have here are social media, young women, and body image. Now, the purpose of taking keywords from our topic is so that if we were to enter this and look for different databases and or papers and or books or whatever, you would come up with a different set of resources than if I just typed in this entire question right here. And additionally, it can help us find more specific sources on certain words. So if I put in body image, I would find more articles, resources about body image than, let's say, sources that include information on social media, young women, etc. So once we've experimented with that, another great tool that you can use is thinking of synonyms for your words. So for social networking or social media, you could say social networking. You could be more specific and say different types of social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're doing. And then continue doing that for our other keywords. See here I have girls, ladies, females for young women, and for body image I have self-esteem, self-concept, and appearance. And like I said, what this is going to help you do is uncover more sources than what you were originally given and what you would originally find if you just looked for this. If you just typed in this whole section right here. So next we're going to talk about other searching strategies. And so I've been talking about how using the internet to find sources can be like finding a needle in a haystack, especially when you're trying to really refine and find sources on a refined topic, especially credible sources. So another great strategy that you can use are Boolean operators. And these are basically different words that help include or exclude different subjects. So you will probably use and or a lot more frequently than you will need to use not, but it's good to know all of them so it helps keep you informed. And, for me, like if I was researching jaguars, but I wanted to look up, for example, how fast does a jaguar go? I could use not, and my not that I would be trying to take out of my search would be cars, because I'm not interested in how quick a Jaguar car can go, but in fact how a jaguar, the animal, can go. And so that's like an example of when it would be a good time to use not. And then another good thing to note is that some Boolean operators are different depending on the search engine you're using. For example, Google has specific symbols and ways to include and exclude search items, and I'm going to show you an example. The link is this one right here. So here's this link, and this is direct to Google Help Search Help. And if you look under Refine Web Searches, it's going to actually give you specific ways in which you can change around your search technique, and specifically for Google's search engine. So for instance, like if I wanted to exclude words from my search, I would put a little hyphen in front of the word that I want to leave out. And if I wanted to look up like a hashtag, I could put that in front of a word, if money, dollar signs, etc. And so this is just good to know, because with some academic databases you might be using and or not, but if we were just using a basic search engine to look up different web resources, you might want to be aware that it's not going to work if you write those different words and or not. You need to use a different formula to get the answer that you're looking for. So our third strategy is going to look specifically at the spelling and organization of our terms to improve results. And you may or may not need to use these, but it's still helpful to know so that you can then continue to refine your searches. So you can use quotation marks with a phrase, and the example is electronic cigarettes versus electronic cigarettes within quotes. And this is helpful because when one of your concepts is a phrase, it's best to search for it using quotation marks. And because quotation marks are the universal sign for punctuation in databases, it can take this phrase and designate it exactly and help you find sources that include that as a direct phrase. And additionally, you can also use truncation symbols or wildcards to retrieve multiple word endings or spelling. And so I have listed that most commonly you can use an asterisk, sometimes a question mark, a dollar sign, or an exclamation point, and that you can use that to replace one of the other characters to try to broaden your search. So for example, if you wanted to look up TheraP and then use an asterisk, and that can be used to search words like therapy, therapies, therapeutic, therapist, therapists, etc., and so on. And again, this just really helps to take the word that you're using and broaden it so that you can find more than one source for that word. Or you could find things that include all of those words. It just depends on how you use it. Now, in addition to changing and playing with the words that you're using when searching, you can also change your results. So most search databases and most search engines are going to have tabs in which you can refine and where and what type of data you're looking for. Sometimes it's on top, sometimes it's on the left-hand side, and in databases, it tends to look something like this, where you can choose anywhere/full text, keywords, subject headings, document titles, and this just goes from broad to more refined. And so this can be helpful like when you're looking for something more specific and you want to find the exact wording that you're using versus just something more broad. And that's a really helpful research skill that can help save you a lot of time. So now we're going to move on and talk about citations. Now, it's really important to make sure that you're using citations regardless of the type of source material you're using. So It's important to cite and cite correctly to keep you from plagiarizing or stealing and passing off someone else's ideas, words, materials, etc. as your own. And failing to correctly cite materials and plagiarizing has serious consequences, not just a bad grade. This can academically result in expulsion, a damaged reputation, and even worse. So please, please, please remember to cite material that is not yours, that did not come out of your mouth, your brain, whatever. Don't do it. It's not worth it. So here are some examples of why and when you need to cite. And down here, I have a helpful link listed that'll take you to OWL Purdue, and there you can find separate citation guides for MLA, APA, Chicago, and more. So some of you who are writing papers are going to be needing to use and make annotations. Annotations are used to give the reader more information about a topic and where said information came from. And common examples include highlighted notes in a publication, or, like you may have to work on, an annotated bibliography, which gives detailed information on sources used as research. So these are important because they can help you determine the relevancy of different resources that you're using. And for the reader, this can help them figure out who the authority or background of the author, the audience. It can help you compare and contrast with other works that you're looking at, etc. So here's a simple annotation for an editorial. And this editorial discusses the effects of video games on individual players. And the article is summarized along with the author's arguments. And you can view in some of the red, some of like the most pungent areas in which this person has annotated and helped determine whether or not this source is credible or useful to them. So last but not least, I'm going to go over some tips for using and accessing materials and different library services. So if you go up to this link right here, I'm going to show you how you can access some of our databases. So here's a list of our current databases. And so these are some databases that FISC specifically subscribes to and others that are free. And so I'm just going to show you for an example how to access this. You should all be able to access them remotely from wherever you are. So I'm going to use JSTOR as an example. So I've clicked on that link to JSTOR, and it's first going to pop up with a FISC page. So you're first going to want to put your email and your password, and then hit sign in. And so once you've added your credentials and you sign in, it'll take you to the main page of the database. So this is JSTOR, and you can see access provided by Fisk University. And here you can use the regular search, you can do the advanced search, you can browse by subject, title, publisher, you can check out tools, do an advanced search, whatever. And you can use the tools that I previously gave at the beginning of this presentation to help you find specific sources and refine your sources and your searches. So now that you understand a little bit more about how to look at databases and what Fisk subscribes to and how to access those remotely, I'm going to talk about some other options for you. So if Fisk does not have a certain book that you want, or you can't find the ebook from any of the sources that we provide, you can do an interlibrary loan, which will involve you filling out a form, giving it to a librarian, and this process basically looks for the source or the book or item that you're looking for and will be delivered directly to you at the Franklin Library, and you can keep it for around 3 weeks, more or less, depending on what you need it for. And when you're done with it, you can just bring it back and we'll take care of the rest. Additionally, we also have Vanderbilt Access, in which you can use the libraries on their campus other than the Biomedical Library. Same with Watkins College of Art and Design and Meharry Medical College. So thank you for listening to this presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Again, my name is Brenna Ferris, and thank you for watching.